Some houses keep secrets, others hold on to the dead. What would you do if the thing calling your name at night wasn't human at all? Tonight, I'll share you a story that happened in Kajang, a new house that came with something else. Good evening, fellow creeps. I'm Kim, your storyteller. Once again, if you have yet to do so before we start with the story, please help me like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have done so, let's get on to the story.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
I have a story to share. It happened about 19 years ago when I moved from Kelantan to live in Kajang, Selangor. At that time, I was still in school, and the move happened because my mother remarried. Of course, I had to follow her. Though my heart was heavy leaving my birthplace, still the best place for a child is with their parents. My stepfather was very kind, almost like my own father. At first, it was a bit awkward, but after some time, I managed to adjust. He was a traditional healer and also sold herbal medicine. Because of that, I learned bits and pieces of his healing practices, while also receiving his love and care. When we first moved, it was during the school holidays, so I wasn't rushing to prepare for new school. At that point, I honestly didn't even feel like going to school anymore. I was more interested in helping my stepfather with his business. Of course, he didn't agree. He told me, whatever you do, you make sure you have knowledge. Without knowledge, everything is meaningless. He wanted me to pursue business studies after SPM, which is a public examination here in Malaysia, if I was truly interested. He was right. I think I was just attracted to handling money. But as life goes on, I didn't end up studying business at all. Well, we plan, God decides. Anyway, let me get to the story. Our new home was a double-story house located about 1 kilometer from Kajang town. First, when I stepped inside the new house, my eyes wandered, taking in the house. It was quite big and spacious. Downstairs, there were 2 rooms and a bathroom. Upstairs, 3 rooms and 2 bathrooms. My room was upstairs. The first night there, immediately things started happening. I heard noises, specifically coming from bathroom in my room. It sounded like a voice calling for help. On and off the sounds came, but I brushed it off. A week later, things escalated. My bedroom door would be knocked on repeatedly, and the doorknob would twist back and forth as if someone was trying to get in. I started feeling uneasy, but I told my stepfather I hold back the details, afraid of what he might think. After that, surprisingly, things quiet down for a few months. Then one day, my stepfather treated a female patient at our home. Remember, the stepfather was a traditional healer. From what I gathered from her family, she had been afflicted by black magic, fed with something cursed. During treatment, it was terrifying. I saw dark bruises on her neck, almost as if she had been burned by a laser. And that night, after everything was done, patient also left. Close to 1 a.m., I heard the voice of the same woman crying. But remember, this patient had gone home, pleading softly for help. What made my blood run cold was she called my name. The voice came from outside my room. I was so terrified that I ended up standing on my bed, frozen in fear. Then, my bedroom door was pounded on violently. Tolong aku, sakit. The woman's voice was crystal clear. I leapt down from my bed, my eyes fixed on the door. The pounding stopped. Silence filling the air. Then came the whisper. Aku dekat dalam wang. Aku dekat tandas. Sinilah. Chilling laughter. My blood ran cold, goosebumps prickling every inch of me. In an instant, I bolted for the door, dashed out, and flew down the staircase, skipping steps in panic. I screamed, but what startled me even more, my stepfather was standing calmly at the bottom of the stairs. I pointed frantically upwards. He looked up, but didn't move immediately. He just stood there. I couldn't help myself. I turned back and had another glance. And there it was. Something sat perched halfway up the staircase. That night, I felt sick. I don't remember what happened right after I saw the thing. And I was so sick, I couldn't even attend school. Now, recalling it back a little bit, what I saw there was a woman dressed in a sari, which is an Indian traditional costume. But what unsettled me the most was this. Inside the wardrobe in my room, there was 3 sets of baju kurung that belonged to my late stepmother. Perhaps my stepfather had kept them as memories. I never asked. For 2 months, I refused to sleep in my room. I stayed in the living room instead. After some time, I tried to forget and moved back to my room. I took my late stepmother's clothes out of the wardrobe, replacing them with my own. That night, when I thought it was finally over, suddenly, the wardrobe door slammed from inside. I sat upright on my bed, heart pounding. Through the small gap of the wardrobe door, I saw them. 2 black eyes watching me. I stared hard, trying to convince myself of what I was seeing. But it wasn't just 2 eyes. There was another one above the wardrobe door. I could only see the forehead and the eyebrows of this second figure. I didn't know if it was one creature or 2. But one thing I knew for sure. I screamed and screamed with everything I had, crying for help. And I'm sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, the person who wrote this story actually stopped here. I do not know exactly what happened after, but only hope that everything is fine with this person. After all, this is after so many years. Should be fine, right? Some say spirits linger where memories are strongest. Clothes left behind. Was it something that actually was with the patient, and then after the stepfather did something to it, then the spirit stayed behind at home? And whatever happened in that wardrobe, is that something that actually still stayed behind and hid in the wardrobe? Well, like usual for these kind of stories, there's always more questions than answer. Tell me, what do you think down below in the comments. I'll see you in the next episode, and good night.